Today is gonna be a big day. We hit mile 100 in just a few miles. And you know, I know that you're making progress with every step on a through hike. But when you hit that first 100-mile marker, it's like, man, it finally feels like I'm going somewhere. All afternoon, we've been hiking the typical stuff, you know, through shrubs and dirt roads, things like that. But just here this afternoon, not long after lunch, things started to look like a real trail. Like, honestly, it reminded me of being back on the PCT in the desert section. So it's pretty exciting. We kind of had a decent climb and then started going down, and it's like actually a managed, like, I don't know, looks like a well-traveled trail. And it has been kind of nice to pretend like, you know, we're the only ones out here and there's not a beaten path, but it's a whole lot nicer to walk down a trail that isn't just beating our legs up. The first marker on a tree, because let's face it, there aren't very many trees. Greens, greens, get your greens. The water sources were a little bit closer together today, so not having to tote as much water makes for a very happy day. We're still in cow water and, you know, not natural sources as far as like flowing on top of the land, but we'll get there. And I think once we hit the Gila, we'll probably have more water than we know what to do with. It's just been a really good day. We've had some climbs, nothing too bad though, but starting to get those muscles ready to work once we get out of New Mexico, which we still have a ways. For me, physically, feet are doing very well. The only thing I'm really noticing is my hips are kind of sore, and that's where the pack rests on my hips and like in the joint itself a little bit. Not anything that I think is like an injury or extreme overuse, but just, you know, my body's still getting used to it. And for me, it's still normal to be, you know, kind of sore and still breaking in at the 100-mile mark. So not concerned or anything like that. But I think reaching the mile markers of like, you know, 100 miles, 200 miles, those are big morale boosters. And then also seeing the terrain change, because I feel like you're finally getting somewhere, and that putting one foot in front of the other is actually getting you closer and closer to your goal.
Well, I think I'm making it work.
Everyone's setting up their little homes. Here's mine halfway up. Perks.
I got the frame erected.
Yeah, his little uke there on his doorstep.
I don't have a, I have a pants tent.
Yeah, we're making it work here. There isn't prime real estate because, you know, that's a straight uphill there, and then the trail was right over there. So this is a time where you just, you know, make it work. So already in the pot, I have ground beef and cheese stick, compliments of Park. Adding potatoes, and this will be on trail shepherd's pie. Could have used maybe a little bit more ground beef, but otherwise looks pretty good and cheesy. The day is already starting off on a good foot because I get to put on clean socks. So today we're kind of in a little bit of a time crunch. Nothing too terrible, but we need to be to, I believe it's called the Burro Mountain Homestead. It's like 14 miles away, I believe, or so. And we need to be there by 4 p.m. because that's when the general store closes and they have our packages that we sent there. So this is the last package that I sent to myself. I think that they actually have a small resupply, and I really actually don't even need the food that I have in there because I'm hiking faster in this section than, you know, I had estimated. But I mean, I kind of estimated low mileage just because you never know and you don't want to be without food. So the thing is, I can always throw it in the hiker box if I have, you know, way too much. So and that will potentially help out other hikers and keep the weight off my back. But we need to be there by 4 p.m. so there won't be any of the taking long breaks today, which with this terrain seeming like we might get more intermittent shade, we might not feel the desire to take as many breaks since we won't be hopefully exposed to the sun as much. However, I do think that there are going to be more uphills today. Things are getting easier in one way, you know, less exposure, but the terrain is starting to steepen up a little bit, it seems. Well, I've been almost 6 miles in about 2.5 hours. And that's including stopping for a little break and getting some water, so not doing too bad. Should be able to make it on time still. But if not, they allow camping there, so we can always camp and get it in the morning, but you know, we have options. All right, so we've changed plans and we are now doing kind of a create your own alternate. The CDTC says that an official through hike is a continuous footpath from Mexico to Canada within the Continental Divide corridor. A lot of the CDT is still not completely mapped out, and even the official trail in some areas does not have water sources. So, I mean, even up to the point we've hiked already, there are folks that have taken several different routes. It really is more of a choose your own adventure trail. So there ends up being a road walk later to get to Silver City. So we're gonna cut over on 90 and just do the road walk now, basically. The challenge is, well, we only have about a liter of water each and it's like 21 miles to town. So it's about to get interesting. We think that there's an RV park that used to be open on this road, but we don't know if it still is. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. But I'm pretty excited to be heading out on this 21-mile create your own alternate with 1 liter of water. So I don't know. Either we're dumb or adventurous.
Or both.
Or both. Because we don't need our food anyway, we're gonna call and have those boxes bounced ahead. All right, this already stinks. Here's the creek we saw on the topo map. Could just be like the movie Hook and imagine the water there. 3 miles down. RV park. It's for sale, but
Oh, I hear sounds.
yay! Well, luckily this RV park that is about 6 miles on the 21-mile path to Silver City has water, and they're actually for sale, but I guess haven't sold out yet. So we got some water now, taking a little break, and then we'll hit the road again. We've been joking about playing this game, like all the articles of clothing that we find on the side of the road, that whoever sees it last, whoever calls it out last, that person has to put it on and wear it the rest of the way to Silver City. But I think we decided that it wouldn't be a good idea when we found some underwears. Hey Park, you left your britches back here. As long as you ain't getting too big for them. We're about 12 miles away from Silver City now, and still don't really have a plan in mind except just to keep walking. Seen some cool things, a mining area, and you know, several pee bottles. So it's been an interesting walk so far. I reckon we whooped about 9 miles of the 21 or so. How are you feeling, Part?
Oh, my feet are getting pretty hot. How about you?
My knees are yelling. So it seems as of now that I think we're all on the same page, that we're gonna potentially try to just go on into Silver City, which would make like a 28-mile day. Maybe not the smartest idea for our bodies, but you know what? These are the challenges that through hikes are made of. So yeah. Yeah. Sweet heavens. There's the lights of town. We made it to town. Wow, we just hiked 28 miles
Marathon day, yeah.
plus.
Yeah.
This is Aaron's biggest day at almost 30 miles.
Highest elevation too.
Highest elevation too. This is all of our biggest day on this trail. Perk has any blisters?
God willing.
Now we get to go walk a couple miles to eat before they close in like 50 minutes. Victory Brews. This is what a hiker trash room looks like. I've been listening to a little bit of music. I think I've listened to one podcast since we started. You know, the trail has just been entertaining enough that I haven't had to like occupy my mind. But I think today I'm gonna listen to an audiobook. I've got several, but the one that I'm thinking about is one apparently that's an autobiography by Patrick Swayze. I guess he wrote it while he was sick and not too long before he passed away. And he actually narrates it, so I thought that would be kind of cool. And there was one quote in there where he just talks about dealing with his mortality and the fact that, you know, you worry about so many trivial things in life, but when you're faced with the end is near kind of thing, it really changes your perspective a lot. It makes you focus more on, you know, was I a good person? Did I succeed at the things I wanted to in life? Did I, you know, check off the items from my bucket list? And did I love the people in my life like I should have? And it just sounded like a good book that ties into kind of through hiking and how, for me anyway, through hikes have changed my perspective on life. So looking forward to reading it. So I'm gonna go do that now.